So yesterday we were talking about the factor theorem. Factor theorem is basically a special case of the remainder theorem. Okay, so let me just open the OneNote. Yesterday, yes. So about this factor theorem. Okay, so when you see the following keywords or key sentences, okay, so that is when fx is divided by mx minus n. If remainder is equal to 0, then we say that fx is divisible by mx minus n. Okay, or reversely, mx minus n is a factor of fx. Okay, so that is how we can check whether an expression is a factor of a function or not. Okay, so when the remainder is calculated to be equal to 0, then that expression will be a factor of fx. If the remainder is calculated to be not equal to 0, then that is not a factor of fx. Okay, so that is like this. So at the end of the last lesson, we have done example number 12 to see whether each of the following is a factor of fx or not. Okay, so we just check whether the remainder is equal to 0 or not. Okay, if it is 0, then that is a factor. But if it is not equal to 0, then it is not a factor. Okay, so that is like this. And let us do the instant drill number 12. Okay. Well, actually, I maybe skipping instant drill number 12. I don't think it is actually important. Okay. Let's go to example 13. Example 13. Are you ready? There is a special technique. There is a special technique I am going to teach you for the example 13 part B. Okay, so everybody please pay attention here. But let us do the part A first. Example 13. So let's fx to be this polynomial. In part A, we need to show that x minus 2 is a factor of fx. So how to show that x minus 2 is a factor? Okay, so this is a keyword you may underline. You may want to underline this. A factor. Factor means that remainder is equal to 0. Remainder is equal to 0. Okay. So in part A, it is about when fx is divided by x minus 2, the remainder should be equal to 0. We need to show that the remainder is equal to 0. Okay, so we just start from this. Start from calculating the remainder. Remainder is calculated by f number. Okay, because the divisor is equal to x minus 2 now, so the number should be just 2. And then we have the formula of fx. So we can calculate f2 is 2 cubed minus 6 times 2 squared plus 11 times 2 minus 6. Okay, the question asks you to show that it is a factor. So it must be equal to 0. Okay, so just need to check whether it is really equal to 0 or not. Okay, 佢叫得你 show 佢係一個 factor 嘅話咧，咁就必定會係等於0㗎啦。如果唔係等於0嘅話咧，咁就應該係你計錯咗㗎啦，得唔得 ？Okay, therefore we can conclude that x minus 2 is a factor of fx. Okay, so that is part A. Can you follow? Okay. 咁其實你記得呢個 keyword factor 係代表 remainder 等於0，咁就得㗎啦。OK， 即係我覺得咁樣就做到㗎啦。跟住 remainder 你記得係用 remainder theorem 代個數落去 fx 嗰度，去到計個 f 嗰個 number 出嚟。OK， 咁要你 show 呢樣嘢喎，係嘛 ？show 呢樣嘢嘅話咧，即係要你 show 佢個 remainder 等於0啦。 咁你而家計個 remainder 出嚟，計到係等於0，咁即係搞掂啦。好啦，跟住 part B 就我想教你嘅嘢 ，OK？Factorize f(x)。好啦，嗱呢度咧有2個方法嘅，我先講輸嗰個方法先啊。Method 1. Okay, method 1 is to use long division. Okay, now f(x) is x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. But we have already found the first factor. We have already shown that x minus 2 is a factor of f(x), which means that f(x) can be factorized out and x minus 2 here. It should be equal to x minus 2 times another bracket. Can you get this? Okay. Because we have already shown that x minus 2 is a factor of f(x). What is meant by a factor? It means that you can factorize out this expression. 係嘛 ？x 減2係 f(x) 嘅一個因式，咁所以咧，我哋可以將佢 factorize 咗出嚟啦，即係 factorize 咗個 x 減2出嚟，咁樣樣。咁但係 factorize 咗出嚟之後，剩翻嗰個括號係啲乜嘢嘢咧？佢而家咧 part B 就係叫你做呢樣嘢啦，就係叫你 factorize f(x)。Okay, you need to find the long bracket yourselves. The long bracket can be found by using the long division. Okay, how to find? You just set up a long division here. Okay, 咁睇下大家記唔記得咧？長除法係點樣樣咯 ？x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6 is divided by x minus 2. X minus 2. Okay, and then the first 點樣去睇啊？第一個 ，so we need to compare the head terms. Okay, we want x cubed, 1x cubed. We have 1x. So what we need is 1x squared. Okay, I need an x squared to multiply 2x in order to get the x cubed. Okay, and then we really multiply the x squared to x minus 2. Okay, so you get x cubed minus 2x squared. Okay, 我哋定到第一個 term 係要乘 x 2次之後，就真係將個 x 2次乘俾個 divisor 嘅每一個 term， 即係 x 減2啦，係嘛？乘咗 x squared 俾佢啦，咁變咗 x cubed minus 2x squared. Okay, and this is the first round. First round completes, and then you just draw an underline, and then the next round. Before the next round, we need to do the subtraction. The first column, x cubed minus x cubed, cancelled. And then for the second column, negative 6x squared minus negative 2x squared, 負6x 2次減負2x 2次，變咗做 negative 4x squared, right? Okay, and because the divisor has 2 terms, so each time we need to pull down one more term, okay, to make it to be 2 terms. Okay, so pull down one more term to make 2 terms here. And then for the second round, we need to determine what number should I multiply to x to get the negative 4x squared. Okay, so I want negative 4x squared. I have x. So what I need is negative. And then number is 4. And then the x term is just x. Can you get this? After determining this negative 4x, you really multiply the negative 4x to the x minus 2. Okay, so that should be negative 4x squared. And then negative 4x times negative 2 will be plus 8x. And this is second round complete. Draw an underline. and then you do the subtraction. Negative 4x squared minus negative 4x squared cancelled. And then we have 11x minus 8x. So we have got 3x. And then we pull down one more term here. It should be negative 6 here. Okay? And then we start the third round. And I want 3x. Just compare the head terms. I have x. So what I need is positive 3. That is plus 3. Can you get this? And then we really multiply the plus 3 to the x minus 2. So we have 3x minus 6. Okay? And then third round completes. Like this. So there will be no remainder. There must be no remainder. Okay, because x minus 2 is a factor. X minus 2 is a factor of this, of fx. So when fx is divided by x minus 2, that should be completely divisible. Okay, and the remainder must be equal to 0. If you get the remainder not equal to 0, you need to check it again. Okay, that must be your fault. Okay， 因為咧，我哋已經證明咗 x 減2咧係一個 factor 嚟㗎咯，係嘛？所以當嗰個 fx 除以 x 減2嘅時候，咁一定個餘數咧會係0嚟嘅，即係冇餘數嘅，一定除得盡嘅。OK， 咁如果你計下計到除唔盡嘅話咧，咁一定係你錯啦，即刻去 check。OK， 得唔得？好啦，咁我哋除完之後，呢個括號填乜嘢嘢啊？ Should be the quotient. So that should be x squared minus 4x plus 3. Right? X squared minus 4x plus 3. Can you get this? Okay, but that's not the end, because this quadratic expression may be further factorized. Okay, may be able to further factorize sometimes. Sometimes it is factorizable. Sometimes it is not. OK， 咁你要點做咧？你撳一撳個 formula one。OK， 咁睇下出唔出到分數或者整數嘅。OK， 總之係整數或者係轉得到做分數嘅，都係 fact 到嘅。fact 到就要繼續 fact 落去。譬如呢一個咧，好明顯係 fact 到啦。So x squared minus 4x plus 3 can be further factorized into 2 brackets, right? First one should be x minus 1, and then second one should be x minus 3. So fx is equal to this. X minus 2 times x minus 1 times x minus 3. Okay? Can you get this? First, let me just do a very quick summary. When you have found the first factor, the fx can be written as the first factor times a long bracket. The long bracket can be found by using the long division. Okay? When you have found the long bracket, you need to check whether it can be further factorized into a product of 2 brackets. If it can be further factorized, then you need to factorize it into 2 brackets. Okay, but sometimes it is not able to be further factorized. Okay， 得唔得？可以 fact 嘅一定要 fact。OK， 好，咁呢一個咧應該睇下咪書嘅方法冇錯啦，就係個 long division 係嘛？咁我呢度想教埋你個 method 2嘅 method 2。咁如果你讀 M1 嘅話咧，或者 M2 嘅同學嘅話咧，呢度冇啦。咁其實 method 2咧，你哋應該咧就好熟噶啦呢一個。OK， 咁係點樣嘅咧 ？Method 2，so fx is x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. First, again, it is equal to x minus 2 times a long bracket, right? But now we are not going to use the long division to find the long bracket. Okay. Instead, I know that this is because fx is of degree 3. This one is degree 3, right? And then x minus 2. X minus 2 is degree 1. And then the long bracket should be of degree 2. So a degree 3 polynomial is broken down into a product of degree 1 polynomial times degree 2 polynomial. Can you get this? So what is the shape? What is the shape of this long bracket? What is the look? What does it look like? It should be a degree 2 polynomial. Okay, so it should be like ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, the highest power of x should be equal to 2. Can you get this? 咦，咁咪有好多未知數咯，唔使嘅，好簡單嘅啫。We are very ready to write down the value of a because the x cubed term must be obtained by multiplying x to ax squared. OK， 我哋上邊呢一行就係乘完，即係將下邊呢兩個括號乘出嚟嘅 result 嚟嘅，係咪？即係你而家諗翻咧，係拆翻下邊呢兩個括號。呢兩個括號拆咗開嚟，會係咩樣嘅咧？最勁嗰個係咪三次方啊？三次方嗰個 term 係點樣得出嚟嘅咧？一定就係前面呢個括號嘅 x 乘以後邊呢個括號嘅 ax square 出嚟嘅。x times ax square will be the only multiplication getting the x cubed term. But now I want the x cubed term to be 1x cubed. So what should I write for the a? It must be equal to 1. Do you get this? But if it is equal to 1, then we do not need to write this. 但我寫到1出嚟先啊，佢哋顯示我知道佢係1嚟嘅。Okay? Can you guess? Which one should I calculate for the next? Is it B or C? Will be easier to be calculated. 跟住下一個應該計 B 定係計 C 先咧？ Should be the C because it is the constant term. So I need to think about the constant term. The result is -6. But what is the source of getting a constant term? 我哋乘嗰兩個括號乘出嚟嘅，點樣嘅一個配搭，點樣嘅一個組合，先至會乘到一個冇 x 嘅 term 出嚟咧？係咪一定係前邊嘅 -2 times positive c? Okay, so -2 times a number, and you get -6. So what is that number? Just positive 3. Can you get this? 係咪個 A 同埋個 C 係一諗就諗到㗎啦？即係我呢度咧一個 x 乘以幾多個 x 次先出呢個1x 3次咧？咪就係1x 2次咯。好啦，我呢個-2要乘幾多先出個-6咧？咪就係乘個正3先出個-6咯。麻煩少少嘅就係計翻個 B 出嚟。OK， 不過都唔係好麻煩嘅啫。咁我哋咧會睇一睇出嚟嘅，我想要係-6x square。嗱呢個咧以下嘅嘢咧，你喺個 draft 嗰度做得噶啦。OK， I want negative 6x squared. And then the right-hand side, how can I get a square term? Okay, by expanding the bracket. When I expand the bracket, then how many square terms can I get? There are two possibilities. If I choose the x from the first bracket, then what should I choose from the second bracket in order to get an x square term? It should be choosing bx. Can you get this? So it should be x times bx. But there is another possibility. If I choose the minus 2 from the first bracket, which term should I choose from the second bracket in order to get a square term? It should be 1x squared. So that should be negative 2 times 1x squared. Okay? So let me write down one more line for the explanation. Consider the x squared terms from both sides. Okay? The left-hand side is negative 6x squared. The right-hand side, it can be produced from two combinations. Okay? From the first bracket, if I choose x, then we should choose the bx from the second bracket in order to get the x squared term. Okay, and if from the first bracket, if I choose negative 2, then from the second bracket we should choose 1x squared. Okay, so what we get here is negative 6x squared is equal to bx squared minus 2x squared. Okay, which means that negative 4x squared is equal to bx squared. So b is equal to negative 4, like this. Okay, which means that this b plus bx should be equal to negative 4x. Okay, so that is like this. 我應該咁樣，唔好整走佢先，寫咗佢啊，寫咗行啊。Like this。嗱，我頭先咁樣嘅，第時你唔使寫咁多嘢㗎啊！我先開始嘅時候咧，就係變咗咁樣先，係嘛？跟住我睇個 A 啦，即係 x minus 2 times 1x squared plus bx plus c. And then the next step will be considering the constant terms. 1x squared plus bx plus 3. Okay. 我寫好少少先啊，呢一個咧一開始呢度嚟嘅。OK， 跟住我呢度寫埋啲 reason 俾你哋，即係呢個咧就係 consider the x cube terms. Okay, and then we'll get a equals 1. And then for next line, we consider the constant terms, and then we'll get c equals 3. Okay, and then this one will be consider the x squared terms. 呢行係唔使嘅，係啦，咁樣樣。最尾個行就係下邊嗰啲嘢，得唔得 ？So this is method 2。嗱，實際上面咧，即係講真咧，我一寫咧就寫到呢一個x 減2乘以1x square 加 bx 加3噶啦。真係要做嘅咧就係下邊呢條少少嘢嘅啫。但係呢條少少嘢咧，你喺個 draft 嗰度做就得噶啦，唔需要寫喺 solution 裏邊嘅。跟住直接寫呢一個 ，OK。當然啦，最後呢度咧，其實我哋應該要再繼續 fact 落去嘅，即係呢個啊，應該係 x minus 2 times x minus 1 times x minus 3，咁樣先至係最後嘅答案嚟嘅。 Okay. Okay, so at this time, I would like you to give me a response. If you understand method 2 or method 1, okay, any one of the method, please give me a like or a clap. Okay?
老 Sir，我想問 Method Two 咁咪要好長咯？
唔係嗱，呢度咧記住喎 ，method 2咧，嗱你望一望我，其實咧呢一行要寫呢行啦，跟住咧我下一行咧就寫呢行嘅啦，得唔得？跟住咧我就會用呢一度，呢度咧你喺個 draft 嗰度去計嘅。咁呢度咧其實咧你做到下一個咧，你每次都知道咧，一定係嗰兩個組合去度做嘅。OK， 跟住就計到呢一個嘅啦，跟住就會出翻呢度啦，係咪？得唔得？咁所以咧呢度咧，其實我係建議你哋咧係用 method 2多啲嘅。點解咧？因為個 A 嗱頭先講咗啦，個 A 咧係好易揾嘅，一睇到嘅，同埋個 C 都係嘅。呢個大家應該同意啊，嗬 ？OK，A 同埋 C 係一眼睇到嘅。OK， 真係要做嘢嘅咧，其實做個 B 嘅啫。咁點解我會建議你哋用 method 2多啲咧？因為其實咧 method 2裏邊咧，真係要計嘅數咧，就係呢一行嘅啫，呢一行真係要計數嗰部分啊，係呢一行嚟嘅。而 method 1你要計數嘅咧，就係成個 long division 嚟嘅，成個 long division 係咪 ？OK， 咁所以咧，我會覺得咧，method 2第一其實係真係計嘅時間係短啲啦。第二就係佢少咗好多，即係啲上下相減嘅時候咧，你哋好容易會唔記得咗係減負數嗰啲嘅 careless mistakes。呢度咧反而係會少啲，令到你有機會錯嗰啲 careless mistakes 嘅。OK， 得唔得？咁所以咧，我會建議你學埋 method 2嘅。咁但係當然啦，如果你即係你 method 1其實都係 feel comfortable 嘅，咁你可以選擇用 method 1或者 method 2都得嘅，好唔 OK？ OK， anyone who has problem for method 2， 有冇同學想我講多少少 method 2嘅？有冇同學跟唔到 method 2？嗱，我 expect 大家都學埋先㗎嚇，然之後自己選擇去到用邊一個方法，好唔 OK？ 好，咁我哋睇下做多幾條咯喎，好嘛？就咁聽咧，未必明自己唔明啲咩嘅。Okay, so I would like you to try to do the instant drill number 13. Instant drill number 13. So I give you 3 minutes to do this. Okay, let's check the answers. Part A, show that x minus 2 is a factor of fx. So that is typical, right? We need to show that the remainder when fx is divided by x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so just calculate the remainder. Remainder is calculated by f number, and the number will be equal to 2. Okay, and we have the formula for fx, so that should be 2 cubed plus 5, 2 square times 2 minus 24. And the question asks to show that it is factor, so it must be equal to 0. Okay, but you really check this. And then, therefore, x minus 2 is a factor of fx. 記得寫翻呢句喎，記得寫翻呢句啊。OK， 記得寫翻呢句 conclusion， 因為我唔係叫你計 remainder 等於幾多，我唔係叫你計 F2 等於幾多。以往你哋有好多師姐計咗佢等於0之後就算 ，OK， 一定要寫翻個 conclusion，OK， 如果唔係就會冇咗呢一分㗎啦。咁 A part 咧通常係得1分嘅啫，你唔寫呢一句就係冇咗嗰分㗎啦。get 到嗬，得唔得？要小心啲啊。Part B, factorize fx. So fx originally is equal to x cubed plus 5x squared minus 2x minus 24. We have already found that x minus 2 is a factor, so it can be factorized to be this. Okay? If you use method 1 or method 2, 我而家話而家試一次俾你睇點樣用 method 2先啊。Okay? Method 2咁一定咧，而家本身就係一個 degree 3嘅 polynomial， 已經拎走咗 degree 1出嚟，後邊就係 degree 2啦。degree 2嘅話咧，就有 x square term、x term 同埋 constant term。The square term must be 1x square. Okay, because I need to multiply x square with x and then to get x cubed. Okay, and then the constant term should be 12. OK， 好快睇到嘅呢度係嘛？然之後咧，我哋整個 plus bx， 攝一個加 bx 落嚟先。OK， 然之後我哋要 compare 啦 ，compare 個 square term。5x squared is equal to there are 2 combinations. OK, if we get x from the first bracket, then the second bracket will be bx. Because I need to get a square term when multiplying 2 terms together. Okay? Plus, the second choice should be -2 times x squared. 係咪都係乘埋係一個2次方嘅 term 嚟㗎？有2個唔同嘅組合嘅，將佢哋唔同嘅組合加埋一齊就係㗎啦。OK， 好啦，咁即係點樣啊？即係 5x squared is equal to bx squared minus 2x squared. Okay, and then you get that 7x squared is equal to bx squared, which means that b is equal to 7. Then just change this to be 7x will be okay. Can you get this? 咁不過唔好喺度停喎，記住呢一個有2次方嗰啲嘢嘅話咧，你記得試下睇下可唔可以繼續 fact 做2個括號相乘。咁今次係得嘅。Okay, so it can be further factorized to be x plus 3 times x plus 4. Okay, so that is the answer. This one is the draft. 得唔得？有冇同學需要我做一次 long division 出嚟嘅？有冇同學需要我做一次 long division 出嚟？如果有嘅話咧，就舉舉手啊。OK， 咁我哋繼續下一題咯噃。 嗱，因為我覺得呢個方法 method two 咧，其實真係簡潔好多嘅。OK， 即係如果你心算好啲嘅話咧，根本呢一紮 draft 咧係可以心裏邊做出嚟咧，都已經 OK 㗎啦，得唔得 ？OK， 咁但係無論如何，你係咪心算定係筆算都好啦，其實都唔好寫出嚟，得唔得？記住呢個係 draft 嚟嘅，唔好寫出嚟啊。OK， 我唔想見到你點樣計出嚟嘅呢度，得唔得？你寫到呢一個 x square 加 7x 加12就已經 OK 㗎啦。OK， 唔好寫其他 step 出嚟。OK，next。好，嗱，跟住我哋做完一啲最 standard 嘅嘢，我又要做一啲有 unknown 嘅嘢啦，係嘛 ？OK， 咁啊有啲變化啦。我哋睇睇 example 14 I mean example 14. It is given that 2x plus 3 is a factor of fx, where fx has an unknown k. Find the value of k. So that is very straightforward, actually. Okay, straightforward. Because it is given that 2x plus 3 is a factor of fx. So just highlight this keyword, a factor. So means that the remainder is equal to 0, right? So if it is about the remainder, then we just use the remainder theorem. Sorry, remainder theorem. So that should be like this: remainder is equal to f number, and the number, because the divisor is 2x plus 3, so the number should be -3/2. Okay, and then you can really calculate the f -3/2. 2 times -3/2 bracket power 3 plus this plus k times this minus 9. Okay, just simplify this very carefully. It should be like this. Correct. -27 is correct. Yes. So this is our remainder. Okay, this is our remainder. But the question has told us that 2x plus 3 is a factor of fx. Therefore, we can put our remainder to be equal to 0. Okay, and then solve for this equation. So -27/2 is equal to 3k/2. And then -27 is equal to 3k. And then k is equal to -9. So that is the answer for part A. 得唔得？即係佢俾呢個資料你係關於 remainder 等於0嘅，你就自己用 remainder theorem 去計自己個 remainder 出嚟先，然之後就 put 佢等於0，就係列咗條式出嚟，去到計未知數啦。Okay, and then part B, factorize fx. So we just write down the complete information of fx first. It should be -9x minus 9, right? And then, because we have already found the first factor to be 2x plus 3, and then we can write down the long bracket here. It should be degree 2, right? 好啦，嗱，今次咧唔係就咁，唔係幾多咧？係 2x 乘以呢一個唔知幾多 x 2次，我哋要出 2x 3次方，個數字即係2乘乜等於2，咁2乘乜等於2啊？咁梗係2乘1等於2啦，係咪？得唔得？即係個數字就係1嚟㗎啦。咁個 x 乘乜要等於 x cube，咁個乜咪就係 x 2次咯，係啊。OK， 咁所以係 1x 嘅2次啦，係嘛？個頭 term。The head term should be 1x squared or just x squared. How about the last term? I have a 3. I need to multiply a number to get -9. So what should be that number? It's very easy. It should be -3, right? It should be -3. 得唔得？頭 term 同埋尾 term 係超容易計到出嚟嘅，中間嘅 term 就會有每次都有兩個可能性嘅。So it should be bx, and then you just do it in a draft. And I consider the x term. So there is 1x squared on the left, and then there are two possibilities on the right. If I choose 2x, then the other one should be bx. Plus, if I choose +3, then the other one should be x squared. Okay, so x squared is equal to bx squared plus 3x squared. So -2x squared is equal to bx squared, which means that b is equal to -1. You get this? Which means that this plus b becomes -1x or just -x here. It's okay? 得唔得？嗱，呢度咧，呢度嗱，我想你哋再 pay attention 喎，呢個位啊，我哋用咗 x 2次，我哋考慮 x 2次去到計個 b 出嚟嘅，係咪？我哋頭先咧，我哋用咗邊幾個 term 啊？用咗2x 3次去到計呢一個 x square 出嚟，1x square 出嚟，用咗個減9呢一個 term 去到計呢個減3出嚟，用咗個 x 2次呢個 term 去到計呢一個 bx 呢個-1出嚟，係咪？其實咧，我仲有一個未用過係嘛？個-9x 係咪未用過㗎？未用過嘅係咪？未用過，但係唔使用啦。但係如果我哋有時間嘅話咧，我哋可以用嚟去到 check 一 check 自己有冇計錯個 bx 嘅。OK， 呢個咧係 checking 嚟嘅啫。Checking step 就係要 consider the x term。OK， 我哋有邊啲 x term 喺上邊啊？睇下先，有-9x 係咪 ？-9x on the left. How about the right-hand side, the brackets? If I choose, there are also two possibilities, two combinations. If I choose 2x from the front, then I need to choose -3 from the back, because I need the product to be an x term, x power 1 term. Okay, so this is the first combination. Plus the second combination, if I choose +3 from the front, then do you know which term should I choose from the back? Should be -x, right? Okay? And then we just see whether the right-hand side really gets a -9x. Okay? It's -6x minus 3x. That is -9x. Left-hand side is equal to right-hand side. So they match. Okay? Which means that our bx should be correct. 得唔得 ？OK， 咁但係咧呢個 checking 咁啊即係如果大家係有時間嗱，其實我覺得應該要做嘅，講真。OK， 我覺得應該係要做 checking 嘅，因為講好多次啦，即係嗱我覺得啊，唔係每一條題目咧都可以有一啲位令到你去到 check 自己嘅答案啱唔啱嘅。OK， 如果有嘅話咧，又唔係太花時間嘅話咧，我覺得喺考試嘅時候咧，係絕對應該要做 checking 嘅步驟嘅，因為你考試係攞分噶嘛，你唔係就咁計條數啊嘛，你要計啱先攞分噶嘛。OK， 得唔得？如果你萬一唔小心計錯咗數嘅話咧，你有方法去到 check 自己錯嘅話咧，就即刻改翻正噶啦，得唔得 ？OK， 好，但係呢個未完喎，係嘛？因為咧呢一個嘅 上面呢個 second bracket can we further factorize into a product of two brackets？ 可唔可以繼續 fact 落去啊？如果你撳一撳個 program one formula one，then you'll get a long decimal numbers. Okay, so that cannot be changed to fractions. Okay, if the numbers cannot be changed to fractions, then it cannot be further factorized into two brackets. And that is the final answer. Can you get this? 得唔得？如果撳機撳出嚟係爛數嚟嘅，咁就搞掂，完成啦，收工呢度。Part B. Okay? And then part C. Part C, solve the equation 我叫你 fx is equal to 0. Okay, but what is fx? Fx is 2x cubed plus x squared minus 9x minus 9 is equal to 0. But we will not keep the expanded form in solving equation. We need to factorize the cubic polynomials, okay, to be 2x plus 3 times x squared minus x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, using the result of part B. The product of two brackets is equal to 0, means that we can split the equation into two parts. The first bracket is equal to 0, or the second bracket is equal to 0. Okay, the first bracket equals 0 is a very simple equation. So x is equal to negative 3 over 2. Okay, so that is the first answer. 嗱，記住 solve the equation， 即係叫你揾翻個 x 出嚟啊，得唔得 ？How about the second one? Second one, x squared minus x minus 3 is equal to 0. When you use the program 1, you will get a long decimal number. Okay, but the question requests you to leave the radical sign in the answers if necessary. 即係話你唔可以就咁抄個爛數落去就得啦，你一定要用咩啊 ？quadratic formula。OK，quadratic formula 我教你哋嘅時候咧就係咁樣嘅 ，b square minus 4ac delta 先。Okay, so that is equal to 13, I think, right? And then the x will be equal to 嗱，我寫多次嗰個公式啊。Delta is equal to b square minus 4ac, and then x will be equal to negative b plus square root delta over 2, or x is equal to negative b minus square root delta over 2. Okay, so this is the formula. So now we need to calculate the delta. Delta is 13, and then x will be negative of b, negative 1 plus square root 13 over 2a. Should be 2a, not 2. Over 2a. My fault. Should be 2 times 1, or x is equal to negative b minus square root delta over 2a. Okay, so the second answer will be 1 plus root 13 over 2. And then the third answer will be 1 minus root 13 over 2, like this. So there are totally 3 answers of this equation. The first answer is negative 3 over 2. And then the second answer is 1 plus root 13 over 2. And the third one is 1 minus root 13 over 2. 當然你都可以寫1跟住正負開方13 over 2咁樣。Okay? So that is like this. Now I would like you to do the instant drill number 14. So let's do the instant drill number 14. I give you 4 minutes for this. Okay, please check the answers. So this one basically is the same as the example, right? Okay. So in part A, just find the remainder yourself, and because of this keyword, it's a factor of fx, so the remainder should be equal to 0, and then you can set up an equation to calculate the value of k. And then when you have found the value of k, you can write down the complete information of the fx, and because it is already given that 2x minus 1 is the first factor, so you can use the method 2 to write down the remaining factor. But the remaining factor cannot be further factorized. So this is just the answer, okay? And then in part C, you need to solve the equation fx equals 0. So you just use the factorized form of fx and then put it to be 0, and then split the equation into two parts. The first part is very easy, that x is equal to 1/2, and the second part is a quadratic equation, and I think this is a 2. Okay, this is a 2, sorry. X squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, and then because it cannot be factorized, so you need to use the quadratic formula. Okay, delta is 17, and then x is negative b plus square root delta over 2a, or minus square root delta over 2a. So that is the answer of part C. Okay? So I think this is part C, right? This is part C. Okay. 好，我哋睇埋今日最後呢一個 example 啦。Example 15。咁其實咧就冇乜特別嘅咯噃，同琴日嗰啲咧基本上係一樣啦。呢一題啊 ，Example 15。It is given that fx is divisible by x minus 3, and you just notice that we have unknown a and unknown b in fx. We have two unknowns. So what did you smell? Simultaneous equations. We need to set up equation 1 and equation 2 to solve for a and b, right? Okay, so we need two information. First, it is divisible by x minus 3. Second, when it is divided by x plus 2, the remainder is 20. But both of them are actually remainder theorem, right? Okay, first remainder. First remainder is equal to f3. Okay, f3 is a3 squared minus 7 times 3 plus b, and then simplify this to be 9a plus b minus 21. But when it is divided by x minus 3, it should be divisible, which means that the remainder is equal to 0. Okay, remainder is 0 here. So we need to put our remainder to be 0. Normally, I will put the number to the right-hand side and call this equation 1. Can you get this? And then we are going to use the second information to set up equation 2. So that is when fx is divided by x plus 2, the remainder is 20. So when fx is divided by x plus 2, then the remainder is calculated by f negative 2. And f negative 2 can be calculated by the formula like this. It's 4a plus b plus 14. Okay? But it is also given the remainder to be 20. So I set my remainder to be equal to 20. And I move the constant term to the right-hand side. It's 6. And label this to be equation 2. Can you follow? So now I have equation 1, equation 2, and I notice that the b terms are exactly the same. So I'm going to use the subtraction. Okay, so equation 1 minus equation 2. The a terms, 9a minus 4a becomes 5a. B terms, b minus b cancelled. And right-hand side, 21 minus 6 will be 15. So a is equal to 3. So when you have found the value of a, you just sub the value of a into either equation 1 or equation 2 will be okay. So 9 times 3 plus b is equal to 21. So 27 plus b is 21, b is negative 6. Am I correct? Yes. 得唔得？琴日都做過㗎啦，即係琴日咧就會係一個 division 嘅 remainder 係幾多，另一個 division 嘅 remainder 係幾多。咁一個就 set 一式，另一個就 set 二式。不過今次咧玩多一樣嘢，就係玩 divisible 呢樣嘢。但係 divisible 咧其實都係講咗俾你聽喺個除法裏邊個 remainder 係幾多。不過嗰個幾多咧一定係零，係嘛 ？divisible 即係 remainder 都係零咁解。OK 得唔得？All right, so I would like you to do the instant drill number 15 now. 好，做埋呢個啫，今日 instant drill number 15. So I'll give you 3 minutes to do it for this, and then we will check the answers. ID 15. Okay, let's check the answers. So it is given that x plus 2 and 2x minus 3 are factors of fx. Find values of a and b. So we have two factors, right? Two factors. X plus 2 is factor, which means that when fx is divided by x plus 2, the remainder is equal to 0. So remainder is f negative 2, and put it to be 0. Okay, and then you get equation 1. And for the second factor, 2x minus 3 is also a factor of fx. So remainder should be also equal to 0. And then you get equation 2. And then you just use the techniques of solving simultaneous equations to solve for a and b. And then you'll find that a should be equal to negative 13 and b is equal to 6. That is the answer. Okay, is there any problems? 得唔得？今日呢一種題目有問題。好嗱，其實咧 Chapter 6咧都已經差唔多教晒㗎啦。OK， 咁但係咧，我之前都有提過嘅，你呢幾年嘅 DSE 嘅 Chapter 6呢一個 topic 咧出得比較深，比較刁鑽啲嘅。OK， 咁所以咧，我想咧就係下個禮拜我哋會做多啲難啲嘅 exercise 啊。OK， 甚至乎我會俾埋啲 DSE 嘅嗰啲嘅題目你哋去到做咗先。即係呢一度咧，今次咧呢一課咧我就唔等，即係去到溫書嘅時候先做啲 DSE 嘅題目啦。咁我一次過咧俾你睇埋嗰啲即係比較刁鑽啲嘅 DSE 嘅題目。咁呢個咧就下個禮拜咧我哋會做嘅，得唔得 ？Okay, so do you have any more problems today? If no, then that is the end of this lesson and you may leave now. Goodbye.